Welcome to the NFL NFC West Futures preview video for the 2021-2022 NFL season. These numbers all come from Pinnacle Sportsbook as of August 30th. Fat Guy, we're going to jump straight into the season win total. San Fran is the favorite as of now. Both them and the Rams have 10.5 wins. However, the San Francisco 49ers just have a little bit less juice on that under 10.5, which is minus 125. The Rams under juice is minus 142. Seattle 9.5 wins. The juice on the over is minus 173. And Arizona's juice is pretty much even, and they have 8.5 wins. So this is an incredibly tight division. Pretty much San Fran, LA Rams, and Seattle, all in their own little way, are expected to have 10 wins as far as the bookmakers and the market has set. And then the Arizona Cardinals are pretty much a coin flip between 8 and 9 wins. So this is going to be competitive. Like, this one is just as competitive as the NFC East, I believe. I always get the divisions mixed up. Whatever has the Cowboys and Eagles. These two are pretty damn close.
This is the best division of football collectively, and these win totals reflect that. Because by the over-under, I mean, people, Arizona's not an average team. It's not that I think they're an average team. This is what the season win offers. And if you think they're above average, lay the minus 107 and bet the over. I do love these 9-cent lines. Minus 107 plus minus 111 is minus 218 divided by 2, minus 109. It's better than 11 to 10. I've hammered it home over and over, but it's slightly better than the book that you probably bet with. Not as good as Pinnacle betting one wager, but you do have to tie up the money for conceivably a whole season. Now, this is the best division in football mathematically. You can make a case for the AFC North, but this is amazing to have such high win totals. I mean, the average win total is 9.5 here. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty impressive. And you're going to say it's only 4 wins over average. Yeah, but that's a big deal. It's a really big deal. There's no weak link in this chain. And if anything, you know, I don't have words of wisdom in terms of value, but I am interested as a fan aspect, because this is just a really strong division that's going to be interesting, and there's going to be 8 fun games that you're going to be able to watch. I didn't mention entertainment. I've been strictly numbers, but this is one I want to watch as a fan.
Yeah, definitely 5-star entertainment. And Fat Guy mentioned that the average juice on a season win total, at least at Pinnacle, is minus 109. Which is actually pretty good. 52.1% win percentage is within the realm of possibilities. You're going to see as this video goes along, divisional odds get a little bit worse. Conference odds are pretty damn bad, and Super Bowl, as well as the conference, are pretty much impossible. So the season win total is the one spot where you actually do have, you're not going to win just being right 50% of the time, but at least you're not going to lose as much as you would in some of the others. That being said, the break-even point for season win totals is 52.1%. And then on to the divisional, where the break-even point is 55.3%, which is quite the jump. So the average odds you'd be paying is minus 124, which is much tougher to beat. Not impossible, but very, very tough to beat. And if we take a look at the NFC West, we got San Francisco at plus 198, the LA Rams at plus 210, Seattle at plus 245, and Arizona not too far behind at 5-1.
Yeah, but again, we're hammering home. It's a 10.53% rake, splayed out over 4 possible results, and but you are going to see tighter juices here because the premium isn't as premium, right? And the basement dweller isn't as bad, right? I think this one is probably as close to equilibrium, like in terms of trying to fight for value, because all of these teams are so close. It would be really hard for you to make a convincing argument that you can beat the rake on a divisional bet between these, because I mean, you're really going to have some asymmetrical information. You have to know something the book doesn't, because I think this is the most tightly contested division, and beating a 10.53% rake I don't think is possible on these type of division, on this particular divisional wager.
And then on to the conference, which is very, very similar. Plus 625 for San Fran, plus 669 for the Rams, plus 787 for Seattle, plus 1611 for the Arizona Cardinals. Something important to note here, as I've been talking about for the past few, is that the average juice that you're going to pay for a conference championship win is minus 160, which means that the break-even point for this is 61.5%. That is absolutely astronomical. It is almost statistically impossible to beat that 61.5% over the long term.
We're beating a dead horse here, but we have to. It's so difficult to win here. And I just don't know how you can find an edge here necessarily. But again, if I were to do it, I'm going to look from the bottom up, and I'm going to look at Arizona to see if there's value there. That's the only one that I can possibly think of. And you also, too, just add a little small tidbit in terms of handicapping. You want a quarterback with a high ceiling. So if I were to start, Kyler Murray kind of checks that box for me, so I would start there.
It's, to me, just looking at the division, like I know we've barely spent any time talking about players, but let's do it for this one. It's interesting that San Fran is the favorite. It just shows how strong their roster is, because out of these four teams, they have the shakiest spot at quarterback. And I almost feel weird saying Kyler Murray is more solid than Jimmy Garoppolo, but just with how the news has come out this year, it's really feeling that way. There's a lot of pessimism towards Garoppolo and kind of trying to get him out of there, spending a draft pick on a rookie quarterback for San Fran. But Matthew Stafford joining the LA Rams, Russell Wilson, just a perennial MVP candidate every single year for the Seattle Seahawks. And then Kyler Murray is like just a mini... Everyone knows these players. There's nothing I can say that's going to change anyone's mind or make them learn anything. But it's just very interesting to see that San Fran, maybe the shakiest at quarterback, is at the number one spot, very, very slightly in that number one spot. But just like that just shows you how competitive this division is. And really, there is a chance that any of these four teams could win it. It's just it's hard for me to think that in the division, though, that Arizona can beat out all three of these teams. Like, Arizona can have a very strong season but still lose out on the division to one of those three teams, and that's what makes it so difficult.
That's why you're getting 5-1, and it's a tight division, and Arizona's no slouch. And and actually, now going back to it, I did say they were average based on their odd set, but when you consider strength of schedule, you could make the argument that on a neutral field against neutral opponents, Arizona might be a 9 or even a 10-win team. That is a possibility, or it is something to ponder or argue.
And on to the Super Bowl odds: 13-1 for San Fran, 14-1 for the Rams, 16-1 for Seattle, and pretty much 36-1 for the Arizona Cardinals. Something to note, Fat Guy, before you get into it: Super Bowl odds minus 165 is the average juice that you're going to pay, which means 62.2% is what you need to break even, which is insane. Like, it's just, I'm telling you guys, it's almost statistically impossible to beat that over the long term.
Long term.
So with all that pessimism and the odds being talked about, Fat Guy, your outlook on this?
Well, it's it's 24.55% juice splayed out over 32 results. We mention it every time. It is very high. You do lock up your money, until well into February, especially with the 17-game season and after the Pro Bowl. It's just not an attractive wager betting on these things. You can find so many better opportunities than to tie up your resources in a high juice endeavor. I can't endorse any of these teams specifically, but if I were to, I'm going to pick Arizona to start just where I look. I'm not going to pick them necessarily, but they have the lowest juice. And what is that? 0.54. That's where you want to look, and it just gets higher, right? You look in the discount bin. Again, I say that every video, but again, we got to hammer this home. It is important. We're looking for prices. We're betting numbers. We're not betting teams.
Thank you for watching our divisional futures preview for the 2021-2022 NFL season. The Fat Guy and I have a lot planned for the upcoming season. The picks video will be released every Sunday night. We will have our third annual Picks Against the Spread contest. We will be live for every Monday night and Thursday night football game. Our $5 a month YouTube membership will include our popular Discord channel, 3 weekly NFL betting market videos from myself, where I take a look at the betting and money percentages to see if and where the value lies on spreads, over-unders, and money lines. The Fat Guy will have a new weekly segment called Ask the Fat Guy, where he will discuss different topics from our upcoming book. So please consider clicking the join button to access our $5 a month YouTube membership and access everything the Fat Guy and I have to offer. Good luck to you in the upcoming NFL season.